Let's see outside. Outside this thing. Okay, so apparently there is a strike. Buses are striking. So we're stuck on the road. There's a roadblock until about 1 p.m. from what we heard. I don't know how we're getting back to Lima because there's no taxi coming out here. So I guess we'll have to wait. But as of right now, there's a roadblock and the buses are on strike. Always an adventure. So guys, as I said earlier, there's a protest, bus protest. They're blocking the road. They're charging people to pass the blockage in order to get a taxi or whatever to go home. So we decided to go the other way. We got a taxi, but we have to walk about 2 hours to get to the taxi. So otherwise we're going to be stuck here for a day. We don't know how long. So we decided to foot it and try to get the taxi to head home and see what happens. Everything is still looking. Everybody is stuck in one place still. As I said, there's a blockage. So really there's no movement. Still protests going on. We decided reluctantly to walk towards where the protest was occurring and pay the money that they were requesting, which was around 100 soles per person to clear the protest in order to get towards our taxi. Luckily, as we were walking to where the protest was occurring, we found another way which was tedious, but it would mean that we didn't have to clear the protest, and it would mean that we would avoid it, and it would mean that we would get to our taxi without having to pay any money to clear the protest. So those vehicles does not look like if they we walked for about 30-40 minutes before walking the desert sand. We're walking. We have to walk to the end of the road, see if we can get a taxi. The end of this road. That's where the blockage is. So people are protesting apparently. So let's see. It's a long line of buses, people. All of these buses stopped because of the blockage. Long line of buses.
Just take card here.
Okay. So we're trying to get some cash because we don't have any cash on us. So trying to see if we can get some our card charge so we can get some cash because we have to pay the taxi that we are going to meet. But I don't think you could pass there, you know.
Por ahí cruza el camino y allá en la curva hay carros para Lima.
¿Para Lima?
Sí.
¿Aquí?
Por acá cruce hasta allá. Hasta...
So as I was saying earlier, instead of walking the long road to meet to the protest, we met up with this couple who told us that we can actually take this route, which is up this desert sand here, to get to the taxi without actually passing the protesters. I'm already tired. I have to walk up this damn hill to get a taxi to go home because of this protest. Well, it has to be done. The sun made it really difficult to walk. It was really hard to walk, but we took our time and we made it up, thankfully. One of the taximen came down to help us with our bags, which made it a little easier to walk, but it was definitely really challenging. Nevertheless, we made it up. The wind was blowing so heavy that I don't think you guys would have been able to hear me. But what I was saying was that there were so many taxis waiting to take persons to different parts of Peru. Unfortunately, we had to wait because we had already arranged a taxi to meet us here. So we waited for about 20-30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes for the taxi until finally he came, and we had to walk a little bit to meet him, but eventually we did get into the taxi, thankfully, and headed home.